Have you ever felt like your brain is just kind of stuck on its current operating system, like you're running old software? Well, welcome to this explainer. For decades, we were all told that once you reach adulthood, your brain's hardware is completely set in stone. But guess what? That is a total myth. Your brain isn't fixed at all. You can literally reshape its physical structure, and you can start doing it right this second. You absolutely have the power to mold, adapt, and dramatically enhance your own cognitive capacity.
So let's kick things off with a pretty provocative thought. Are you ready to unlock the cheat codes to your own biology and totally upgrade your cognitive performance? Think about it. We upgrade our smartphones every single year, right? We want faster processors, way better memory. But what if you could apply that exact same upgrade cycle to your own mind? Imagine just processing information faster, recalling facts instantly, and installing entirely new skills with zero friction. Guys, this isn't science fiction. It's literally just a matter of learning how to operate the machinery you already possess.
Now you might be wondering, how does that actually work? It all comes down to brain plasticity, or neuroplasticity. Basically, it's the ability to change and grow brain function by building new neural connections through mental and physical stimulation. To put it simply, neuroplasticity is a lot like building brand new, lightning-fast roads in a super dense forest. Think of a new concept as a tangled, overgrown path in the woods. The first time you try to walk down it, man, it is incredibly difficult. You're stumbling, you're pushing branches out of the way, it takes a ton of energy. But the more you walk that exact same path through mental and physical stimulation, the wider and clearer it gets. Eventually, that dirt path turns into a fully paved highway, and information travels across it instantly. That is brain plasticity in action.
All right, let's dive into Section 1, upgrading your mental hardware. This is all about nurturing the physical brain for peak performance.
So, I want you to think of your physical body and your daily diet as the essential hardware of your mental computer. Before you even try installing complex software programs, you really have to make sure the machine itself isn't overheating or running on faulty wiring, right? Your daily physical habits dictate the actual biological limits of your brain power. Take smoking, for example. It literally shrinks the hippocampus, which is the brain's main memory and planning center. Imagine actively choosing a habit that physically shrinks your memory. No thanks. But on the flip side, we have high-performance fuel, omega-3s, antioxidants, and magnesium. These don't just put the brakes on cognitive decline. They actively provide the raw physical materials your brain needs to construct those new neural highways. And these specific foods act as total premium upgrades for your hardware. You know, your brain is a massive energy hog. It uses an enormous amount of your body's glucose. If you just eat a candy bar, your glucose spikes and crashes, taking your focus right down the drain with it. But whole grains, like a bowl of oatmeal or brown rice, act like a steady IV drip of premium energy, keeping you completely locked in for hours. Meanwhile, antioxidants from foods like blueberries or dark beans act like a biological rust inhibitor. They literally protect your physical brain cells from daily wear and tear. And let's not forget omega-3s from walnuts and fish, which are absolutely crucial for regulating your mood and concentration.
Okay, so food is fuel. But here's a crazy question. Can simply moving your physical body actually rewire your cognitive mind? Have you ever wondered why you often get your absolute best ideas while you're out taking a walk or right after a really hard workout? It feels kind of like a paradox, right? You exhaust your physical body, but your mind suddenly becomes way sharper, quicker, and more creative. So how exactly does sweating on a treadmill translate to solving a complex math problem or writing a brilliant email?
Well, here is the magic number, 2.5. Experts recommend targeting 2 to 3 days, so let's call it an average of 2.5 days of moderate cardio a week. Why? Because it releases this incredibly potent mix of hormones that boost your memory and your task-switching abilities. When you elevate your heart rate, you are literally flushing your brain with hormones that act like fertilizer for your neural pathways. It clears out the stress and primes your brain to absorb new information. So you aren't just building leg muscles when you jog, you're directly upgrading your brain's ability to switch between complex tasks without lagging. Talk about a real game changer. Now, in addition to getting that heart rate up, you absolutely have to secure 6 to 8 hours of sleep each night. And this isn't just about feeling rested for the next day. Getting that sleep physically prevents the loss of gray matter in your brain over time. I like to think of sleep as the overnight maintenance crew for your mental hardware. If you consistently cut their shift short, the trash piles up, the systems degrade, and you physically lose gray matter. Skipping sleep so you can work more is exactly like refusing to charge your phone just so you can keep using it. Eventually, the whole system just shuts down.
Moving right along to Section 2, Installing New Mental Software. This is where we start exercising the mind with new skills and challenges.
Okay, so once your biological hardware is fully optimized, it is time to install that new cognitive software. You've got this well-oiled, well-rested machine. Now, you need to push it to its absolute limits to force it to grow. Look at these options: learning a new language, trying a martial art or a sewing class, playing strategic games like chess or cribbage, reading challenging books with completely new vocab, or just solving daily logic puzzles. By doing unfamiliar things, you force your brain to build entirely new neural pathways. Think about it. If you only ever do what you're already good at, your brain just runs on autopilot. It doesn't need to grow. But the second you try to coordinate your hands in a sewing class or decipher a brand new language, your brain sounds the alarm. It realizes it doesn't have a paved road for this task yet, and it instantly starts laying down new tracks.
And to supercharge this process, you need to cultivate extreme curiosity. This is the ultimate software update. Deliberately seek out the unfamiliar and question the obvious. Don't just walk through life accepting how things work. Ask why. Why is a street designed a certain way? How does your coffee maker actually heat the water? When you deliberately question things, you force your brain to cross-reference information. Refuse to accept things as they are. Because when you do that, your brain actively builds diverse, incredibly robust connections every single time it encounters something strange, difficult, or entirely new.
Which brings us to Section 3, the multi-sensory memory hack. These are proven techniques to absorb and retain complex information.
All right, we've optimized the hardware and the software. Now let's look at a daily memory hack you can use to force your brain to literally never forget a piece of information again. So what if the secret to a perfect memory was hiding right at the tip of your pen? It sounds surprisingly simple, but the way you physically record information dictates exactly how well your brain can recall it later. In our modern world, we type absolutely everything, right? We tap on glass screens, we slam on plastic keyboards, but what if this obsession with digital convenience is the exact thing destroying our ability to remember?
Check out this 3-step method. Step 1. Write new information down legibly in longhand. Writing notes by hand helps integrate knowledge far better than typing. When you type, your brain just processes individual letters. But when you write in longhand, the complex motor skills required actually force your brain to engage deeply with the meaning of the words. Step 2. Review your handwritten notes shortly after learning. This signals to your brain, hey, don't throw this away, this is important stuff. And finally, step 3. Relate the facts to your 5 senses: taste, touch, smell, sight, sound. This makes the memory completely bulletproof.
Let me give you a really cool example. If you deliberately tie a memory, like where you usually put your keys, to a multisensory experience, it becomes powerfully unforgettable. Let's say you're someone who always loses your keys. The next time you set them down on the counter, don't just walk away. Pause. Look at the keys on the bright white counter, and actively imagine the incredibly sweet taste of a spoonful of sugar in your mouth. I know it sounds a little wacky, but by combining a spatial memory with a vivid visual color and a phantom taste, you've just engaged multiple different areas of your brain simultaneously. When you go looking for your keys later, that multisensory web is going to instantly pull up the memory. It's like magic!
Now, to keep all that shiny new software running smoothly without crashing, you need a reset. Daily meditation and practices like yoga directly improve your decision-making and information processing. Think about a computer that has way too many browser tabs open. It slows to an absolute crawl, right? Well, your mind is the exact same way. The constant barrage of notifications, worries, and racing thoughts creates major mental clutter. Daily meditation acts as a mental defragmentation tool. It acts as a system reboot, closing out all those unnecessary background applications and freeing up massive amounts of processing power so you can make sharper, much faster decisions.
And that leads us to our final part, Section 4, the ultimate brain takeaway. Let's talk about rewiring your reality starting today. We have covered a lot of ground today, folks, from high-octane food and hormone-flushing cardio to analog memory hacks that lock information right into your long-term storage. But as this quote highlights, a small amount of effort to improve cognitive function has disproportionately large positive payoffs. You don't need to change everything overnight. This is basically the compound interest of brain power. Just a handful of walnuts a day, an extra 30 minutes of sleep, or doing a quick logic puzzle instead of doom-scrolling social media on your commute. These are not monumental life overhauls, but human biology dictates that these small, consistent inputs create a shockingly disproportionate upgrade in your overall intelligence and mental clarity over time.
So now that you hold the power to physically change your brain structure, what new software will you install first? I'm going to leave you with this final thought to ponder long after this explainer ends. The power to grow your mind is entirely in your hands. You are the lead programmer of your own brain. The hardware is ready, the operating system is unlocked, and your potential is literally limitless. So where will you begin? What new language, what new skill, what new complex challenge are you going to install today?